All right, all right, all right. So we're back at it. Beyond the Policy here with Comfort Insurance and my co-host Joshua Amador. We're here today and we're going to be talking a little bit about a lot. Something it's not that exciting, something that is concerning actually. It's something that happened recently with one of the giants when it comes to healthcare. And we're going to be talking about United Healthcare and how they recently got hacked. Losing about 22 million. At least that's the amount that's found so far. I don't know if there's going to be any other arrangements between the hackers and United, but that's one of the things that you don't do. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with hackers. And unfortunately, they went ahead and paid $22 million, let me correct that, $22 million to the hackers that took control of their systems, and in order to get their systems back, the hackers just pretty much just hijacked it and said, we won't give it back to you until you give us a nice little paycheck. So yeah, they supposedly paid 22 million in Bitcoin. So that's how the money was transferred, and that's how it's also not traced. So with that, Josh, how do you feel about that incident with United and how they got hacked?
I mean, it's unfortunate that so many companies are going through this, and no small business or no individual is how do I say it? No individual, no company is immune to this from happening. That's the word. Immune. Nobody's immune to being hacked, and it's a problem. And unfortunately, it's a problem that we now have to deal with. Being the world we live in is so digital, and I mean, I'm a United Healthcare client, so maybe my information is out there somewhere too. And you know, it's very it's tough, because now what do I have to do to protect my own information from being used by somebody? And again, it's not the first company that it happens to, and it's not going to be the last. And you know, speaking of not being the last, I got a beautiful letter from, I think some of you guys might know this company, AT&T. Beautiful AT&T, who provides service for us. They also went through a similar situation not too long ago. 73 million people currently, 65.4 million former account holders, and currently 7.6 million current account holders. And this is a giant of a company, and for them, I'm assuming they have a great IT team. I'm assuming they have a great system somewhere. But even for it to happen to them, it's again, it's alarming. But it's things that are out of our control, and we have to do what we can. We have to do what we can, because it's going to keep happening. Let's be real. It's going to keep happening.
So United Healthcare is the #1 health insurance carrier, and it sucks that it happened to them, but it happened. And the point that I just want to get across is that I'm not too happy with how they dealt with the situation. I'm not too sure what they were dealt with and were working with, but I'm not. I don't know how I feel about them actually paying the hackers, because at the end of the day, what's to stop those same hackers to come back and say, "Oh, this time I want a paycheck of 100 million. I don't want 22." So that's just the way that I see it. Specifically, also, that it happened to you with AT&T. No defamation or anything like that, but it also did happen to me with my mortgage company, Mr. Cooper. So with that said, I wanted to let you guys know on how important it is to have these cyber liability coverages, to have insurance that protects you against hacking. Did you know that there's insurance against hacking? Did you? Well, if you didn't, feel free to go ahead and inquire about it. Go ahead and ask us more questions, either comment or send us a message. We can definitely get you some cyber liability or cyber insurance coverage. With that, Josh, I mean, there are other topics to touch, and now that we're about to finish on this hacking subject, I don't know if you want to add anything additional about the insurance coverage.
Well, I mean, just to you have your basic theft or identity theft insurance, which everybody should get, because again, these are things that are going to keep happening. And but for businesses out there, you know, that want to, again, a lot of businesses, unfortunately, and I have clients, we have clients that, you know, aren't aware of the severity of the information of, and maybe they are aware, but they don't think that they can get hacked, and that's the problem. You can get hacked, okay? And so you need cyber liability, you need data breach, okay? You need it, and just data breach insurance and cyber liability. It's just so we understand the difference. Data breach is simply, it's gonna help us notify the affected customers. Okay, it's gonna help us pay to notify the affected customers. It's gonna help us hire a public relations firm, and it's gonna help us, like AT&T, offering $1 million in theft insurance now that we have to take advantage of. That data breach insurance is gonna provide that coverage so that we can pay for that stuff. It's going to offer that crediting monitoring services to those victims, right? And then, of course, that's what data breach insurance is. There's a component of a general liability policy or a component of the general business owner's policy.
Listen up, right? Business owners.
Now, cyber liability insurance is going to help us if I need legal services so that I can meet state and federal regulations. State and federal regulations is gonna help us pay for any extortions if I have to, from lost income due to any network outage, from lawsuits if my customer sues me, my client sues me, and you know, hey, I because of me, my client now has to deal with this. Well, technically, you know, if I have this coverage, I'm gonna be able to, you know, not maybe pay it out of pocket, or maybe I'll pay my deductible. That's what deductibles are for.
Okay.
But of course, any fines. So if I'm fined by agencies, federal or state, if I'm fined because of what happened, my cyber liability insurance is going to help me cover that aspect. So there's just, it's, you know, they're similar, but they cover a different set of things.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up. Now, that brings me to, it's not a conclusion, but just it clears up a little bit of doubt that I had with that United situation. So possibly they may not have taken the $22 million out of their pocket.
Maybe not.
They possibly took a portion or all of it from their cyber liability coverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, I guess it depends how big the policy was, right?
Yeah, I hope they had a good policy.
Yeah, I hope so too. Sure. I hope so too.
All right. So that's enough with hacking and how hacking can affect all of us. We've been affected. We hope that you haven't been, but in order for you not to go through these headaches, think about insurance, like for real. There's things that you might not even know insurance can do. All you have to do is ask. Comfort Insurance, that's what we're here for. Alrighty, so this past weekend we actually had a pretty big event here in Miami. We had the Miami F1 event, the racing event here, and Josh himself attended the event. So how was it, Mr.?
It was awesome. It was great. I would say if you haven't gone, anybody who hasn't gone, go check it out. You know, maybe you're not a car enthusiast or a race enthusiast, or feel like you can sit on, you know, watching cars do laps, but I think the atmosphere is great. I think the amount of people out there, you know, all types of people, and you know, it just made me think about how that car world, that collector car world, and you know, how that industry is a very big industry, and seeing how all these people came from all over the world and all these celebrities were out there, and I thought it was a good experience for anybody, for sure. And just to stay on that topic, some data that I was able to find from one of the carriers that we work with, that they cater specifically to high luxury cars, or cars that may not fit the appetite of a regular carrier, for, you know, maybe like a Lamborghini or you know, those high value cars.
Right. So
this car collector industry, and in the last 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, well, we'll talk about a little bit prior, the biggest growth is coming from the Gen Zers. So people who fall into this Gen Z category are the ones that are pushing this industry to keep moving forward, right? And I think it obviously has a lot to do with maybe the access there is to it now. Maybe a lot of people back in the day didn't have, or a lot of younger people didn't have the means to, but our world is so revolutionized and so digital that, you know, you could see an 18-year-old with a Lamborghini and it's normal, right? Maybe back then it wasn't that normal. But they are the ones, the Gen Z are the ones pushing the car collector growth into new heights.
Well, that's huge. I actually thought it was the baby boomers, but this is.
I mean, they're there, but the ones that are causing the growth, it's the Gen Z. Baby boomers is 20%, Gen X 49%, millennials are 95%, Gen Zers 737%. So there's a big gap.
The growth.
Yes. From 2018 to 2022, the growth is coming from this Gen Z
Yeah,
population.
that's by far an enormous amount of growth.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing that with us. Me in particular, I think that because of the new electric cars that are coming out, that's why a lot of antiques are also becoming insured now, because the antiques will be more valuable because now the electric cars are replacing a lot of things. All these Teslas, all these newer electric vehicles are now kind of like phasing out the production of the gasoline motors, and you know, that will eventually be a highly valued prized possession because they won't make them anymore. So for the car collectors out there, for the people that like car enthusiasts, do know that the industry of cars will keep changing, will keep evolving, and with that, so will insurance. And there are insurance carriers out there that we work with that will help insure, whether it's an antique or a brand new, whether it be a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini. We can help you with that. All right, let's go on to another topic here. We're going to go ahead and talk about mental illnesses and exactly what it is that's going on in recent news, and how exactly does this affect us. Honestly, you don't necessarily have to be crazy, or you don't have to be, you know, cuckoo in order to get you know, these mental illnesses taken care of by your insurance. That's not what it means, but just that support, whether it's a member that, a family member that just passed away. A lot of these things are covered by insurance, just that a lot of individuals don't know. And Josh is going to share here some information that might enlighten us to actually take advantage of these coverages. Talk to us a little bit more about that, Josh.
So some data I was looking at, and this is a lot of this data is from 2021. They haven't rolled out the 2022 information yet, but we're already in 2024, so you can kind of just tell how you know, how this data is pulled, right? It takes time, right? And these 2021 numbers are from 2021. But it just kind of can show you the trajectory, because I'm going to go into 2022 as well. Not specific, but 2021 itself, there was a study that was done, and what was determined was that a quarter of U.S. adults have a mental illness at any given time. So a quarter of the whole population in our beautiful country have some kind of mental illness, and I think that's alarming. And I think
it's huge.
And I think that has to do a lot with.
It's enormous.
I mean, I think one of the biggest factors is the fact that everybody has access to a lot more resources that they didn't have, and one of that being our phones, and how, you know, a lot of people, unfortunately, they can start comparing their lives to somebody else on social media and causing this image of, I want to be like XYZ, right? And just, you know, because they're not happy with what they have, or they're not satisfied.
Crazy.
And, you know, wow, seeing that, and then also how, you know, a good portion of adults also show from that same study that 72% of adults with mental illness have at least one barrier to treatment, or the lack cost or lack of needed health insurance. So there's a big percentage of people that need or that are suffering, and 72% of those people, from what I'm reading, don't have the coverage or don't have the means to take care of this. So I think you know, it's important that we close this gap. And how can we close it? What can we do, right? And I think us in insurance, we we can help people, right? And we can help them seek that treatment that they need. And you know, some other stats that were pulled from actually 2021 specifically. Someone in the U.S. in 2021 died every 11 minutes by suicide. Every 11 minutes,
suicide. That's another one.
Somebody died from suicide. Okay, that is equates to nearly 50,000 Americans every single year. You know.
Well, I'm here doing the math on the number of Americans that suffer from some type of. You let us know that it was a quarter of Americans that suffer from some type of mental illness, and that's around 87 million Americans. That's a big number. That's a huge number, and when we put that in front of us, I actually see like, wow. No wonder like there's so many school shootings. No wonder there's so many massacres or just so many things happening, because a lot of these little problems that we think are little, but in reality this is a big number. 87 million is enormous, and that is a high concern on how we can, you know, better inform these individuals so that they can go get the preventive care. Go get your preventive test, and that doctor might, you know, refer you to a doctor that's actually gonna work on getting you better mentally. So suicide, that's another one. We had a client earlier this year. He actually took his life, and our prayers went out to him. This was actually a client of ours that had been with us for years, and unfortunately that happened. But this is a real problem. This is a real problem, and us as insurance agents, as individuals, as people, are working to try to solve it and try to at least, you know, give our grain of sand to make it a better place.
Absolutely. I think you know, it's essential that this percentage of people, and I think everybody, even if you tell yourself you're healthy and you don't have any mental problems or whatever, I think everybody in some way, shape, or form needs to always, you know, talk to somebody if they're going through something.
Yep.
Because what happens is, I think you stay in your mind, and your mind can tell you a lot of things, and but we understand that these settings, these predicaments that people are in have to be spoken, right? Otherwise, you know, we go into this mind thing and boom, take my head off, blow my head off, right? But nothing, just so that everybody is aware, you know, if you do have coverage, you know, any kind of health employer-sponsored health insurance should be able to help you with treatment, mental treatment. Obamacare, Affordable Care Act coverage through the health insurance marketplace, which we can offer you, right? Can definitely it's classified as an essential health benefit, so you're gonna, you know, your doctor can't deny you, right? And then of course, people who have Medicaid or you know, CHIP, right, for their children can definitely get this taken care of. Okay.
This is essential coverage. What that means is that it cannot be denied or taken away from you. So with that said, I mean, take advantage of these things. Take advantage of these services, because they're here for you. They're here to make sure that we're fine, that we're okay. With that, let's share some good news. Let's talk about some updates to the individuals, the people that are eligible now for Affordable Care Act for insurance through Obamacare. And I honestly think that this is a positive move. These individuals are you know, contributing to our economy, contributing to our education system. So it is something positive for a ton of individuals, because I could tell you I have family members and even employees that will definitely benefit from this. So we're going to be talking about the DACA recipients, how now they also qualify for health coverage through the exchange.
Yeah, so the CMS is estimating around maybe there's about from what I'm reading here from the CMS website, cms.gov, be informed, know your resources. Okay, it could lead to about 100,000 previously uninsured DACA recipients. So that's a lot of people that are going to be able to have access to this mental treatment, that have access to this professional, professional help that everyone needs. That, like you said, I think these people are contributing members of society.
Right.
They pay their taxes, they work, and so why not? They're doing their share to be a law-abiding citizen, and so I guess it's about time that I think these people get to be able to reap the benefit of having a insurance coverage through the marketplace, or have this benefit that they're no longer going to be excluded from this.
Since inception, DACA recipients have been excluded from this, so it's been a little bit over 10 years. DACA recipients, effective November 1st, as long as everything goes through correctly, will be eligible for insurance through the marketplace. So that is absolutely positive. A lot of individuals will qualify now because of this. And yeah, man, I mean, you're getting into student debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why not be able to get some type of help with medical care, right? So that's absolutely positive. And the next topic is national hurricane preparedness news. We're in Florida. We're getting to our summer season, and our summer season is our rainy season, and our rainy season is hurricane season. So that's about to start, and that's why you got to be ready. Any changes to policies right now, home insurance companies, they don't even want to look at individuals looking for home insurance right now in Florida, because it's hurricane season is coming, and they know that better than us. You guys know, insurance companies know, they know. So with that, Josh, what do you got for us on hurricane news?
I got some myths. This is coming from one of our trusted carriers, Travelers, just one of the many. All right, Travelers Insurance, and Travelers put together some myths for us. So I think these are going to be great. So myth number 1: you only need to protect the windows facing the water. So hurricane force winds can turn landscaping materials and other outdoor items into projectiles that can break windows on any side of your home. So myth number 1 is that you only need to protect the windows facing the water. You got to protect all the windows. Everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
So myth number 2: if you lean against a window or door, you can keep it from blowing inward. So you're putting yourself in danger if you remain in front of windows and doors. Instead, you should stay away from windows and glass. Close all your interior doors. Take refuge in a small interior room. Okay. Myth number 3: you can open windows to alleviate pressure. Okay. This comes from the misconception that you can build up in your home during a storm to the point of causing complete structure failure. Okay, so yeah, don't open the windows if there's a hurricane.
I don't know. Yeah, why would they do something?
All right, and then myth number 4 is that the biggest myth, right? And I think a lot of people, and I think a lot of people with flood, that I think we can relate this really a lot to flood insurance, is that the biggest myth is that it will not happen here. That it's not gonna happen here. Yeah, I mean, hurricanes can happen anywhere. Mostly, of course, they're gonna happen on the coast, but it's not to say that it can't go inland and create some havoc. So, every single year, there's heavier rains, there's stronger winds, there's stronger floods and coastal storms that are surging, right? They're causing these hurricanes and tropical storms. So, I mean, I think just important to understand that, it can happen anywhere. And especially here in Florida, especially with your flood insurance, like, people don't understand that you live in Florida. You are a flood zone. I'm in zone X, so nothing's gonna happen here. Well, I mean, floods can happen anywhere. You're in Florida. You're in Florida. If you're in Florida, right? So that's that. Some myths from there, and then just to go into just basic preparation materials. Seeing that we are going into this and we have to be prepared. Knowing the forecast, obviously, staying on top of that. But preparing a survival kit, and water, non-perishable food, medications, stuff for your pets, radio, batteries, flashlights, battery chargers, electronic devices that can power your car, other bigger electronic devices, planning your evacuation route, building a content of inventory of your home. This is very important. If you have homeowners insurance, I would advise making an inventory of all the things that you have of value, right? Because if you have a specific clause that it's replacement costs for your contents, right, then I know that my TV, which is worth $1,000, is going to be replaced at $1,000, right? Versus if it's an actual cash value, well, my TV is now worth $200. Go find your $200 TV somewhere. So just make an inventory of the things that are high value to you, furniture, things like that. Inventory, very important. And then of course, you know, if you're going through this storm, right, securing all the stuff outside. And then, you know, if you have a generator, emergency generator, and then of course, you know, if you have a boat or something, move it to a safe place, right? So that's just some tips for Hurricane Preparedness Week. It just happens to be this week, and we're going into hurricane season. Yeah,
that's for sure. Some research does say that by 2055 or 2060, most of Florida will be underwater. So with that, I can tell you that at this moment, there are places in Florida that are underwater, and those are not just the flood zones. All of Florida is a flood zone. And like I mentioned before, these insurance companies know how the world works, and they have a lot more connections than we do. So when these companies are telling us to be wary or to be cautious about certain things, I definitely do recommend that you have at least some type of coverage for those things, and not just basic coverage. Josh was talking about ACV and replacement costs. Actual cash value is totally different from replacement costs. That TV that you bought for $2,000, if your policy is an actual cash value policy, just because you wanted to save some money, okay, that's fine. You want to save some money. You want to save those $500. Now that ACV policy, that TV that costs $2,000 is worth, let's say, $300. Will replace your TV at a cost of $300, not the $2,000 that you placed. So thank you for touching that point. A lot of individuals don't even know what these little clauses.
I mean, I understand some people, they don't care. I get it. Some people don't care. But if you do care, if you're one of those people that do care, make sure your contents and your roof, make sure your roof too. Most policies will include the roof at replacement cost, but sometimes to save money, they'll put the roof at ACV. And, you know, again, it's just a matter of looking at the fine details and making sure that every year, you know, you have an agent, and hopefully it's us. You have an agent that's reviewing these things with you, and, you know, making sure that, you know, every year we do this for all of our clients. Every single one of our clients can attest to this, that we're gonna do our due diligence and review the whole market, right, to make sure that they're getting the best offer. And, you know, if there's anybody new out there that is looking to shop their homeowners or any other insurance, you know, we're always gonna advise you to better your situation. You know, I mean, we're gonna keep helping people, whether you decide you want my help or not. That's not up to me. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that I'm offering you the best that I can.
Right.
So I think that's important, that you're reviewing these things every single year. At every renewal period, you're going through all this stuff.
Life changes.
And making sure that you have your necessary coverages.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, I think that we've reached the end of the episode here. Like we said, take a look at the coverages that you have. Very important, cyber liability and data breach liability. That's very important to have. I didn't know that was a difference. I appreciate you clearing that up, Josh. And keep us in mind, Comfort Insurance. It's in our name. It's what we do. We've been doing it for 10 years now, and we're going to keep doing it and changing people's lives, helping people's situations, and we only get better at it. So feel free to contact us. We're always here to answer any of the questions. Take care, fellas.